What's up? It's Dixson, and I'm your BET Amplified Artist of the Month. I'll say this, everything with Sevyn happens very organically, and I love that about our friendship. I love that about our work as collaborators. Literally, the way I met Sevyn was a friend was like, you and Sevyn need to know each other. That's literally it. I mean, we both were in Atlanta around the same time, but we didn't know each other. And my friend was like, you need to sit with Sevyn. So they put us on text message, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting at her home studio and I'm listening to her album, and I'm giving her, first time meeting her, I'm giving her notes, and it was just so organic. And I'm in the studio now, but I'm actually in this studio. That's crazy. I'm at East West, and I get a FaceTime from Sevyn, and she's like, I've been out, I'm with my girls, but I need to come see what you're working on. So she just pulls up, and I'm working on a beat. The beat for Cherry Sorbet was for somebody else. I was just here working. I had some downtime. I was like, let me pull up this sample and try to cook it up. Sevyn shows up right at the time where I get it, in order, and she's like, I'm going in the booth. We didn't really have a conversation about it. And by the time she walked out of that booth, we had the hook. And that's Sevyn Streeter for me. It's just she's so good at catching lightning in a bottle. And what she did in that session was so crazy. I didn't finish Cherry Sorbet until maybe 3 or 4 months after that session. So she cut the demo, we put the session away. I never opened it again. And one day I'm sitting in the studio with my engineer, and I'm like, yo, let's pull up the Sevyn sessions. And I go back and listen to what she did on that hook, and I was like, I gotta write the rest of the song. And the rest of it just kind of came so quickly. And by the time I looked up, we were mixed, mastered, and putting it out. And I'm so grateful to her because it's not always easy for people to come into a world that they don't know and still deliver. It's we hadn't really made any songs together, and for that to be the first thing that we made told me that this world that I'm trying to build, where people just feel free to be themselves and be the best creative that they can, it was evidential in that moment that what we were trying to build with this sound, with 04 Daisy, it connected, and it connected immediately. And now that song is, right now, as we're doing this interview, number 15 at the radio right now. We just broke top 15. I'm a new artist. New artists don't do that at radio. And so it just says everything about the energy and the intention that we put in the record. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to Sevyn. I'm always inspired by the truth. I think it's hard for me in moments where I feel I'm trying to follow a trend or follow the path of what I'm seeing. I tend to resist it if it doesn't feel like the truth. So I try to start there with the songs. It doesn't matter what I'm doing or who I'm working on, whether it's for me or for somebody else. The truth is always what inspires me. Some artists that inspire me, I love Donny Hathaway. Stevie is a big inspiration for me. His ability to paint pictures with his sonics, but also with his words. And it's always baffled me. As a kid, I always was there's no way Stevie Wonder is blind, the way he's able to pinpoint exactly what something feels like or what something looks like. And his way of describing things is just so beautiful to me. And another big inspiration for me is Pharrell. I feel his ability, the empathy that he has for the people that he's in front of, or the songs that he's writing, has such a empathetic viewpoint. And I feel like it's always been, to me, when I hear his music, it sounds like it's always been about the people and the listener. I think we discovered that I had synesthesia pretty early as a kid. I remember like around the holiday time, it was like Thanksgiving. I might have been in like kindergarten or first grade. They gave us an assignment to like color the turkey, like all the kids get. And they were playing a song in the background. And I remember it being like in C sharp or D flat. And I just like colored the turkey all purple. And nobody could explain why I decided to do that. I couldn't explain it at the time. And later on in life, I told a professor of mine the story, and he was like, Darius, you got synesthesia. You see colors. And he was like, I bet you have perfect pitch. And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, how do you relate your pitch to, how do you relate to your pitch? And I was like, by color. And he started going down the scale, and he would play a note, and I'd be like, oh, this is the color I see. And that's how we discovered it. But we didn't know for years how I was able to like just pinpoint a pitch, go straight to it, call it out in a cluster of chords, but it's color. I definitely see colors. I think I've always known that I was supposed to be a musician or a music creator. How would I describe my music? Lately, it's been a journey, like I said before, I'm always searching for truth, and that's a journey. I've had some experiences. I'm not gonna hold you, and before I call them experiences, they were definite obstacles. I remember I just had made a promise to my parents that they weren't gonna have to pay for me to go to college. They had paid for me to go to school pretty much most of my life because they wanted to protect me and shield me from the Atlanta streets. And so what I wanted to do in return is give them, a free ride so that I could get my higher education, but they didn't have to be burdened by, the cost of it. So I got a scholarship, full ride academic, and I get there, I'm like, I'm gonna be a music major. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a music major. Not only am I gonna be a music major, I'm gonna be a music therapist. But I couldn't complete the theory exam. And it broke my heart because I wanted to be a music major. Because I thought I could change, like if I knew how to make a concerto, the traditional way, I thought if I knew how to do that, I could change the game. I could score my favorite films. I could write write for my favorite artist. And I thought that was gonna be the advantage, but the advantage was me having to learn how to do it on my own. Things about Dixson that people probably don't know. I used to work in fashion. I'm mildly obsessed with it. I would argue that I spend all of my time that I'm not making music either purchasing or still researching fashion. I'm still obsessed with it. I'm still obsessed with building my crazy archive of all my favorite designers. I used to be a really big sneakerhead. I was a part of the original team at Kith. A lot of people know this brand, Kith. And I was obsessed. Like every paycheck I got, I had to catch up with my sneaker game. So my sneaker collection is actually pretty crazy. The 5-year plan is like a big topic of conversation around me and my friend group. 5 years ago, I set out a plan and I'm sitting in it right now. Like I'm sitting at the end of it, honestly. I wrote it all down 5 years ago. I live by that mantra. I write everything down. I'm constantly recording. 5 years ago, I said I wanted a Beyonce placement. I wanted a record deal. I wanted to play Essence Fest. I wanted to play Made in America. I wanted to be nominated for an Oscar. I wanted to be nominated for a Grammy. I'm sitting in that right now. So it's crazy that you brought that up because it's been a point of anxiety for me this next 5 years because I have so many things I want to accomplish, and I know that it's attainable. I'm having a hard time mapping it out. Top 3 though, I really want a Grammy nomination for my own music. I'm so grateful for every piece of recognition that I've gotten for the work that I've done for other artists. I'm very much in service to the music. When I'm with them, I'm in service to them. It's not about me. And I've never made it about me. But I really feel like this next body of work that's coming after 04 Daisy is, it's one of my most important works yet, and I'm really hopeful that I get that recognition. Secondly, I would love to score a film or TV series. I feel like I got a glimpse of what that could be with King Richard, and I really want to pour into a series or a film as a scorer or a composer or a music supervisor. I feel like sonically I have something to say that would align with somebody's story, so I'm very open to that idea. And thirdly, I've been working on a brand that centers around Black luxury and how simple that is. I feel like a lot of times we, especially in our community, and I keep it a buck with it, I feel like a lot of times we feel like we have to spend a lot of money for it to feel luxurious. And what I've learned in my short time on this earth is that there are these pockets of time and dedication to a small thing that feels more luxurious than having the champagne and the caviar. Our homes are our sanctuaries. How we listen to music is very personal and deep to us. What we put on our bodies is very, very important. So I'm working very hard on creating a world where I can tell my people that luxury, is not just the amount that you spend. It's the time you spend and the connection that you have to this thing that you love. And it doesn't have to be expensive for it to be that way. Some things, like if you love cars, you're gonna spend some money on a nice car, but our homes are a sanctuary, and I've been really focused on home and what that feels like for our community. So that's something that I'm very excited about. And if I could just throw something in, I'd love to be a creative director of a brand, whatever that is, however it comes to me. I feel like I'm so connected to the experiences that people have, that I feel like my insight could really help a brand connect to an audience. What's up? It's Dixson, and I'm your BET Amplified Artist of the Month.